Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. And this video is going to be about the matchup between Juan Manuel Marquez and Mike Alvarado happening this Saturday night. And I think both of these guys' styles match up well, and it should be a very entertaining fight. I'm going to talk about some skills, some things to look for coming into this fight, and also who I think will win this fight. So let me first start off with some skills. Juan Manuel Marquez is a guy, an excellent counterpuncher, a future Hall of Famer, very intelligent, a veteran, and has a very tough guy. Mike Alvarado is a guy with a lot of power. He can box. You've seen that in the second Brandon Rios fight. He can also brawl, and like Marquez, is tough. So both of these guys are coming off losses in their last fight. You have Marquez losing to Bradley, and Marquez did not look his best in his last fight. He looked his age, he looked slow, and it wasn't the Marquez we've seen in previous performances. So I'm interested to see how much is left in the tank of Marquez, and I guess we'll find out Saturday night. Mike Alvarado is coming off a loss to Ruslan Provodnikov, where he took a ton of punishment and ended up quitting on his stool. And I'm really interested to see how much is left in the tank of Alvarado after such a tough fight. And he's been in two previous very tough fights against Brandon Rios. So I want to see if these are beginning to affect him as a boxer and affect his career. So what else is a big storyline? Well, Alvarado normally trains in Denver, but for this fight he actually trained in California. And I think that's a good move for him because in Denver he has a lot of distractions, and against Ruslan Provodnikov he didn't come in his peak physical condition. Also, Team Alvarado doesn't have Rudy Hernandez in his corner anymore. For those of you who aren't familiar with Rudy Hernandez, he is Gennaro Hernandez, the late great fighter, his brother. He's also a UFC cut man. He's been in the boxing game for a number of years, very knowledgeable guy. And he was actually the guy in the second Brandon Rios fight with Alvarado who gave Alvarado some excellent tips throughout the fight and made adjustments and helped him out and was very key in the victory against Brandon Rios in the second fight, in my opinion. And that may have been the biggest win so far in Alvarado's career. So he was very instrumental in that. And he's not going to be in their corner in this fight. And that's a pretty big deal because when you're going against a guy like Juan Manuel Marquez, who's a very smart fighter and a veteran, and Nacho Berenstein, a legendary trainer, a very intelligent boxing mind, I mean, that's a huge disadvantage to not have a guy like that in your corner because Team Alvarado, in my opinion, is very inexperienced. So that's a thing to look out for throughout the fight. I personally think if Alvarado wants to win this matchup, he's going to have to throw some straight punches, move in and out, and use a variety of different attacks. Don't let Marquez time you and figure out what you're doing because when he times you, you're in trouble because he's a very accurate counter puncher. And I'm interested to see what's going to go down because Alvarado should be very hungry for this fight because the winner of this, in my opinion, will get a Pacquiao fight. And Alvarado wants to prove that he's a big-name fighter and that also he wants to get that money and make some money in the sport. So it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to bring his A game. And Marquez, he's getting up in age, so we're going to see how much is left in the tank for him. But personally, I can't go against Marquez in this fight. I think that Marquez has been in there with better guys than Alvarado. I think his experience is going to be a key factor. And I think overall he has some better technical skills than Alvarado has in this fight. So I'm going to go with Marquez winning a decision. But I think this is going to be a very talked about fight after. I think it's going to be very entertaining. And I'm interested to see how it goes. And give me your opinion, guys, who you think is going to win and how is Alvarado going to beat Marquez or vice versa? How is Marquez going to beat Alvarado? And thank you once again for tuning into the video. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy this fight. And once again, I have Marquez winning the decision against Mike Alvarado. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in.